But he called to mind the words of the will, which he knew by heart. In the farthest angle of the second opening, said the cardinal's will. He had only found the first grotto. He had now to seek the second. Dante continued his search. He reflected that the second grotto must penetrate deeper into the island. He examined the stones and sounded one part of the wall where he fancied the opening existed, masked for precaution's sake. The pickaxe struck for a moment with a dull sound that drew out Dante's forehead large drops of perspiration. At last it seemed to him that one part of the wall gave forth a more hollow and deeper echo. He eagerly advanced, and with the quickness of perception that no one but a prisoner possesses, saw that there, in all probability, the opening must be. However, he, like Caesar Borgia, knew the value of time. And, in order to avoid fruitless toil, he sounded all the other walls with his pickaxe, struck the earth with the butt of his gun, and finding nothing that appeared suspicious, returned to that part of the wall whence issued the counseling sound he had before heard. He again struck it with greater force. Then a singular thing occurred. As he struck the wall, pieces of stucco, similar to that used in the groundwork of arabesques, broke off and fell to the ground in flakes, exposing a large white stone. The aperture of the rock had been closed with stones. Then this stucco had been applied and painted to imitate granite. Dante struck with the sharp end of his pickaxe, which entered some way between the interstices. It was there he must dig. Here's an interesting thing that I think a lot of people, including myself, tend to forget because it's impossible to hold in your head. But whenever you are reading something, you're watching something, you're just absorbing something, you are bringing to it not only your collective experience throughout your life, but also your immediate references and experiences. So there's no reason I should have thought of this outside of the fact that I had recently seen it, and I can't expect that anyone else would have had this connection. But when he's talking about the stucco falling off and revealing something beneath it, I was immediately put in mind of something I watched because it's spooky season. Not that I let that limit me watching horror films and scary things throughout the year, but I've been on a folk horror kick over the last couple months and have been interested in checking out some of the exclusively British things that, haven't been released here in America. There have been these BBC miniseries back in the day, and I'm thinking specifically of the Owl Service. Or was it Children of the Stones? I watched both recently. I can't remember which one it is. I think it actually might be Children of the Stones, where they are inside a house and, a manor that is owned, and some stucco falls away to reveal a mural beneath it, kind of illuminating the tradition and underground society that existed long before the people that inhabit the house are there, and it becomes kind of a moment, a pivot of revelation for them. So that's what's put in mind here, and I'm racking my brain now just to go, okay, well, between that and between this passage we read today, what is the real general thing that sort of functions as? What is the function of that within a story? And I mean, clearly it's a facade falling down to reveal a truth beneath it. But what does that mean symbolically? Not that everything needs to be symbolism, but, Dumas is actively using symbolism, so I think it's a worthy question to ask. What is this revealing? What is it representational of? Dante digging for the truth, not only, I guess, in terms of the treasure, but of himself. Is this a way of showing the work he's done of chipping away who he used to be to find the secret beneath? I don't know that completely fits the allegory of, the slow breakdown of who he was and the slow buildup of who he's going to be. But is there something there to find, a truth hidden beneath the surface? I mean, maybe that's all it is, just setting up that idea that there is a truth hiding below the surface, but the treasure might not be what you think it is. The only other thing I wanted to kind of earmark from this passage, and I'm not, smart enough really to know what it means, but up until now, with Faria's telling of the stories and Dante's reflection of the stories, it's always been kind of compartmentalizing Caesar Borgia or Alexander as these, kind of corrupt entities, viewing their actions, their intentions, their motivations kind of in a vacuum, and then judging them. Either Dumas is doing that or Dante and Faria are doing that. But now, in this passage, Dante kind of associates himself with him. That line, however, he, like Caesar Borgia, knew the value of time. So now he's aligning himself with the virtues of Caesar Borgia. And I'm wondering if that is also kind of a subtle tip of the hand of showing Dante's nudgement. I just created that word right now, a nudgement into villainy. If we've established Caesar Borgia as a kind of villainous figure, and now Dante is aligning himself with him, is that worth noting? Well, I don't know, but I did it anyway. Anyway, let's continue here tomorrow with more of chapter 24. I am curious if he's going to get this treasure this chapter or not. There's only one way to find out, and that's to join me tomorrow, so you know where to find me. Okay, goodbye. The Countdown of Monte Cristo is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. This show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexandre Dumas. Theme song by Magic Solo. If you want to support the show and others like it, visit patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.